All right. Hey, let's get into this, shall we? So, first off, guys, I hope everybody's having a nice day. This is going to be a collective message, not zodiac specific. We shall see where this one takes us. We are starting out with the fish and the tower. Okay, so normally this is about tremendous abundance, but we could have a big change in that tremendous abundance for somebody. This storyline opens up with someone who could be enduring an upheaval. Maybe they had what they thought was going to be a ton of wealth. Maybe that got shaken up. We have the house and the man, and he's driving away from the house. This could be somebody leaving behind a huge amount of abundance, giving up something, knowing that he has a lot, but saying it's time for a change anyway, regardless of the consequences. We have the man. Both times we see his back turned, and here we see a car driving away from these very lovely cottage homes. That storyline starts out pretty strong with massive change. Okay, let's keep going on this. I feel like I need something a little bit brighter. So tell me what's going on with this. And when I say the man, we're just going to go with that. It doesn't mean it has to be masculine, but that's what the card is. So that's what we'll say. We have the Queen of Pentacles upright, and we have that Knight of Cups. These two together look like this could be either his destination, or we just simply need to read this as if we're just brought in another character. We have a Queen of Pentacles who is somewhere way up in the clouds. She is, which is interesting because normally a Queen of Pentacles should be seen on the earth. So I'm going to say she's at a big distance. Maybe she lives someplace high up. Maybe she lives on a mountain. But I'm going to say she's remote somehow, some way. It's going to take him a long time to get to her if this is indeed the man. I'm going to say it is because we've already had a vehicle here. Now we have him still, on another mode of transportation here, but it's slow going. And it may be because she lives someplace way up higher elevation. But tell me just about her. What is it in her world? She looks rather melancholy in that imagery to me. We have Ace of Wands in her world. It's interesting because we have like a mirror image. I almost think that there's something in her world where maybe she has either two career paths or she's interested in doing two completely different things. Boy, Four of Pentacles though, and then we have again like the mirrored image. There is some kind of duality when it comes to her. My impression here is that she's thought, I think I should go ahead and pursue other things in my life. I have more than one hobby. I have more than one lifestyle I could live. I have more than one way that I could be successful. So let me go ahead and just keep moving forward, because there is some element of, and maybe this is why she looks a little bit melancholy. She may know that somewhere out there, that in this case, our masculine that we've been seeing, he may be at some point where he continues to hold back from her because his inner child hasn't figured out which grown version of himself he wishes to be. If this is how she perceives him, she may be saying, you know what, I mean, I have to choose who I want to be also. The only thing is with an Ace of Wands, this is like, I personally choose things that I want. I might want more than one lifestyle, but I will choose and make both of those lifestyles happen. I will choose both careers. I will choose both lifetimes in my one lifetime to explore. And she might be being aware that there's a difference between the way she operates and perhaps the way he has, because it's taken a really long time. And she doesn't, it almost seems like she's up in the sky, like looking down over and saying, I still don't see him on his way toward me. I don't see any change. I should probably just move into my next chapter of life. This could even be, maybe she needs to move on and meet some other potential mate. This could, because it's a Queen of Pentacles, this could be all about a career path for her, but I do feel like she is aware of him. And she's also aware that, when we hold back, it's because we don't know what we're going to do yet. We don't know what the choice is that we need to make yet. And I think she might be a little wounded saying he doesn't know if he wants to choose me. or he doesn't know what life he needs to choose for himself. I think she is recognizing that because she's applying the same concept to her own life. I have to choose what kinds of things I want to do with my energy, but I feel like hers is more, like I said, about career path and such, but her own reflection, self-reflection on her choices and the way she makes decisions could be something. Then it's making her, apply that concept to him, and she's able to think about it and go, well, if he doesn't want to do this yet, if he hasn't figured out which choice to make, no wonder he's holding back from me. Nine of Wands in the reverse. I feel like, if anything, she's at a point where she's saying, it's time to let him go if he hasn't made decisions. Maybe he's got a lot of wounds, but I should go forward in something in my own life. Queen, what are you doing in your own life? Because I do feel like she is moving ahead in some avenue of her life at this point. Tell me about it. What are you about to go do? I only read this deck in the upright. There's already two meanings. Death card to the Temperance. She definitely is just, I almost feel like this is maybe the last time she'll kind of think about him. Maybe this is the last time she'll kind of contemplate him and where he's at and, where he's stuck. And we kind of have this phoenix rising from the ashes. We have that change, that transformation with the Death card. Then moving into the Temperance says, yeah, she's at the point where she's at peace with, we all do the things that we're capable of doing. We make the choices that we have the capacity to make. But for her, she's kind of starting over is what it feels like. And she's okay with it now. Again, up in the clouds imagery here, I'm wondering if that is actually representing she's found like divine peace in regards to this. You know what? He's not coming toward me. It's time that I just let go. And I let go by knowing, hey, he couldn't make decisions about where he needed to be. He's got his wounds. That might take a lifetime for anybody to sift through. That's okay. You know what? I wish him well, but I've already become more and more remote. I've been seeking answers from the divine up here in the sky. And yeah, it's me that's got to move on. So I think that's where she's at. She's very peaceful about this. With that Phoenix rising from the ashes for herself, what is that representing? We have an Ace of Cups going to a Two of Cups. She has a strong belief that there's another love out there. She's actually a lot happier all of a sudden. It's interesting how letting go of him makes her actually happier. And then we have an Eight of Wands moving to a Nine of Wands. Once again, kind of the shape of, she's fire breathing here, or blowing fire, almost like a circus performer, creating for herself the Phoenix rising from the ashes. Meanwhile, she assumes he's still here sleeping, still kind of stuck. But she's out here ready to go ahead and take new actions, right? Nine of Wands, she's healed from this, even if she assumes he's not joining her. And we have the Judgment card going to the World. She forgives him, and she is ready to kind of like elevate her life into the next phase. I definitely think she has big plans for next year. I think she has great hope. She is going to have, meet somebody else next year. If she had put off any kind of life plans because she was hoping somehow he would join her, like maybe she had been considering, like, I'd like to, buy a house, or I'd like to really get serious about building this business. But wow, I always thought it would be so amazing if we did it together. Subconsciously, she might have put a few things on the back burner for herself. And I think that it's like all systems go now. There's forward motion. There's absolutely forgiving, and there's a renewal. She might have even said, I don't want to move because I still wanted to be in a certain area so that he knows where to find me or something. If he comes back into my world, she's going now. She's moving, she's traveling, she's doing what she needs to do purely for herself, but also with the idea that this is exciting. It's in the next adventure. If she had old ideas, wishes, dreams, goals, for a while, I think she just put all that on hold because she had been willing to build it with him if he were going to be a part of her world. And now that's been kind of like pushed out of her mind. And those goals and dreams are back, and she is going after it. Good for her. Hopefully nobody ever puts goals and dreams for themselves on hold, waiting for somebody else who isn't, like present, unless there was an agreement that we're doing this. Here's the date where, we've got plans. It looks like this was, although she has, this like melancholy look at first. We can see her getting revved up. We can see her getting excited as she kind of bids them adieu in her heart. And as she starts to turn her attention to her own life, and you know what, I'm going to meet somebody else, and you know what, I'm going to move, and I'm going to go someplace else, and it's an adventure, and I'm not mad and I'm not upset anymore. They got to do what they got to do. You know, maybe he might not even be sure about who he is or who he's going to end up as. It's okay. I can let him go. Now, here's the thing. I would say this storyline has probably the most authentic character I've ever seen letting go of somebody. I think she really, really, really means it, because there isn't bitterness. There isn't, like, she's not saying I'm letting go, but then she keeps thinking about him. She's really turning her attention only to her future, only to, you know, I leave him sleeping here. He's not able to come forward with me. That's okay. Okay, I'm excited for my next chapter. Okay, here I go. Like, I really think she's turning her attention to meeting somebody new. So I have to say, there is a massive detachment here for her. And we don't always see that, not legitimately in a story. She is legitimately detaching from him. And I feel like it's happening right now. I feel like there is something different about her. I don't know if it's just, you know, it's the end of the year and it's a great time to, you know, wrap up cycles. This could have been a long cycle. This could have been something that she's drifted further and further and further away, but gone more and more toward consulting with the divine and figuring out what should she do, where should she go. And now that's it. Now she's good. She's letting this situation fade for her. We have a 3 of coins going to the 4 of coins. We have the 9 of cups going to the 10 of cups. We have the 2 of coins going to 3 of coins. Everything here says she's going to start really pouring her energy into things that will create value in her life. She could be taking a trip. She could be moving. She could be going back home. She could be going somewhere where it's just like she's going to thoroughly enjoy her friends and family, especially this holiday season. I think she's going to be soaking up all of these amazing energies that surround her. I don't know that she's instantly jumping into some new relationship, but she's definitely like feeling more present in her other relationships. If she goes and sees family and friends, she's not secretly still, you know, in her mind wishing that she was sharing that moment with him, or like, I think she's really bonding right now. These kinds of bonds, you know, when we get from the 9 to the 10, she has full completion. Her life is actually really whole, really complete. With or without a partner, she really feels no absence, no missing component of herself, which to me says she's genuinely healed. She is completely whole again. Now, the one thing I'll say is that's a dangerous place for this connection to be, only in the sense that she really has no space for it. I shouldn't use the word dangerous space. What I've meant by that is that this connection is basically, let me move these out of the way, is basically like this is the last day she thinks about it. I think she's just happy after this. So tell me about the man, because we got to go back over to him now. The man, we have 5 of Wands. It almost feels like, you know, we saw that he's leaving something behind. He's doing a timeline jump. He's leaving a bunch of things behind. He's leaving possibly a house behind. He's leaving some finances behind. He's leaving a career path behind. He is doing a timeline jump. He is done waiting. He is done trying to figure things out. This has been a long chess game where there were so many people he dealt with and so many obstacles, and I almost think he's leaving all of it. There's no more negotiations on his side. Whatever he was trying to work on, he just all of a sudden wants happiness. That's it. That's it. I don't think he's been having a good time. Whatever he's been doing, whomever he's been negotiating with all this time, whatever aspects of his life were constantly under, you know, review, and constantly there was more to deal with and more people to consider, and more business aspects and more family members. And there was always somebody else's drama he was too much a part of. I think there is a change in all that. He's reached a point where, I mean, maybe it'll sound rude, but I don't think he cares anymore. All that drama belongs to the people that, you know, create the drama. It's not his lookout. And I think he's leaving a lot of drama behind, and he's choosing happiness. Now, we can see that with the Hanged Man, this is seeing the world through a different lens. And you notice that, like, we're unzipping that canopy of trees and seeing the clear blue sky on the other side. His motive for changing his life is for happiness. His motive is to finally have hopes, wishes, dreams, and goals. And that means his life is finally starting to turn in the right direction with that wheel of fortune. It's finally listening to his heart. I think this person was very, like, well, we'll say mechanical. And he should have been using, his heart to motivate the mechanics of his life and move things forward. What does that mean for him? Where are you going? We see you changing everything. The Tower again for him, this time sideways. This feels like we already saw him leaving behind a lot of things. The Moon. This is very different for him to suddenly walk away from stuff that, like a way of living, or this constant. I feel like he was very immersed in other people's drama for a long time. Maybe that kept him immature. I don't know. There is an element here where I would hint at immature, or like the inner child didn't know who they were allowed to be because they always had so much expectation placed upon them, either by family or, anyone who gets roped into other people's drama. Maybe we could say they hadn't yet realized, I don't have to deal with everybody else's drama. I'm not, my life isn't in existence so that I can, help the people that are creating drama in their own lives. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to live my life. I'm wondering if this is new to him, to break away from a whole bunch of stuff like that, and a whole bunch of intensity, a whole bunch of drama. And it's almost like for the first time ever, I think does he know what he wants? The Moon says he needs to sit with himself for a bit and just think deep down inside, okay, I finally am not answering everybody else's beck and call. What do I do? Who am I on the inside? The Moon says he may not really know, which is basically what the Queen of Pentacles said about him. Six of Swords and the Emperor. There is this element of him almost debating, do I want to just, stay away from everyone, or do I want to leave the very lonely life I've lived because I've been at everyone else's beck and call and their drama, and can I go build an empire? He's almost asking himself, like, can I do this? Am I allowed to? I mean, I walked away from all this, but then the idea of actually being free to choose my path, can I do that? So he's really used to the devil. He keeps expecting somebody is going to come in and tell him how to live, tell him, grab a hold of him again and tell him, you got to do this, you got to do that. There's this weird battle in his mind of, I don't know if I'm allowed to, even though he's made the huge changes already. He's walked away from one life, but the idea of starting his next chapter is kind of where he's a bit stalled out. Let's take this to a part 2. There will be a free link in the description box, because we gotta do a deep dive. I knew this was going to be a 2-parter when I started it. All right, you guys, thanks so much for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. Also, I am tagging products for you guys because people always ask where I find different things, so I hope that helps. Thanks for being here, guys. I'll see you in part 2.